that was you, right? And you was going back into school on Monday, what would you be giving?
Me? I'd be giving.
No, I meant like.
That's the vibe I'm coming. And you know what I will say though? How difficult it is to come off the bench. We know what that is. Come into a game, the pace of the game, how difficult Everton made it for Arsenal. To be able to come on at that age and impact the game. Both goals came from him. You have to give the young man a wealth of credit because it is very, very difficult to be a game changer, and that's exactly what he was to do.
But let's just talk about that very special moment at the end for that young man, Max Dowman, 16 years of age. Just sum that up.
It's incredible. I think you can see how he plays. He plays so calm and yeah, without fear every time he gets the ball, and I think it takes the right decisions most of the time as well. So, and you can see the goal there. It definitely took the right one, and yeah, he's an amazing player, and it was a great goal for him. And yeah, I'm so happy for him.
The two of you came on together. It changed the course of the game. What was Mikel's instructions other than just try and win the game?
No, it was just getting information that yeah, do the plan that we talked about before the game, and yeah, we knew that, and then yeah, of course, try to change the game and to get the win. So yeah, we tried to take our chances, and yeah, I think we did.
You got the all-important first goal. Before that, you could feel the tension, the atmosphere in the stadium. Were you aware of that? Could you sense it?
Yeah, I think it's normal when it's 0-0, and yeah, it's only a few minutes left, and yeah, of course, we always try to win the games, and we know how important this win is, and yeah, it can happen, but yeah, you saw the atmosphere also after the goals, and that's what we love.
I mentioned special moments. How big, though, and how special could this moment be with Man City still to play tonight? But the gap at this moment is now 10 points.
Yeah, I think every win is important, and yeah, of course, we try to do our best in our games, and we can't control the other results, but yeah, we're in a good position, and yeah, we try to enjoy this win now.
On moments like this, with a young man scoring a goal like that, his first senior goal for Arsenal, does that what makes teams special and bring you things that are special?
Yeah, I think if you always go into the game with the right attitude and with the right belief, I think yeah, together and with a good atmosphere between the group or in the group, I think we can achieve anything. And yeah, when Max come on, I think he can feel that, and we're behind him like we are behind every one of us, and yeah, that's why yeah, we play good.
Well, Victor, well done. A great contribution from you and a great contribution from Max. He is the player of the match. Will you give him the trophy when you get in the dressing room?
Yeah, let's see about that.
He's keeping that for himself. There's plenty of time for Max Dowman, but Gyökeres certainly played his part, coming off the bench, getting his 16th of the season in all competitions, 11 now in the Premier League, and that intervention from him might just have been super crucial for Arsenal in this title race. So the story so far this Premier League weekend: no goals between Burnley and Bournemouth, who are now unbeaten in 10. Sunderland beaten at home for the third game in succession by Brighton side, who look like they're improving at just the right time. 3 wins out of 4 from them. Minter with a strange sort of goal, the only goal in that contest. 2-0 victory for Arsenal over Everton. And Newcastle winning at Stamford Bridge for just the second time in 38 years in the league, beating Chelsea by 1-0. You can scan that QR code, you'll see all of the action so far. A lot of football still to be played, as you can see, on this Premier League weekend. For now, this is how it looks. And crucially, Arsenal are indeed 10 points clear at the top, and it's still very much in their hands. They've only got 7 games to go. 4 at home, 3 away from home to get their first title for 22 years. Manchester City in action this evening at West Ham. Then come Manchester United, who play Aston Villa tomorrow. Chelsea in there in 5th place. Liverpool, who play Spurs live on Super Sunday. Then Brentford, who we watch on Monday Night Football against Wolves. And actually, there is a chance for Brentford to be pushing on for Champions League football. That is a realistic possibility at this stage of the season. Who would have thought that? This is how we look at the bottom, with Brighton slipping back into the bottom half. with Newcastle's climb into the top half. Sunderland slipping today, and West Ham with a chance to get out of the bottom 3 if they can pick up something against Manchester City. Right, what have we got ahead to look forward to? How about this, the Chinese Grand Prix. We are underway with our first race of the season in Australia, and second race comes to you tomorrow from 5:30 on Sky Sports F1 with 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli on pole in the Mercedes. Highlights tomorrow at 10:30 if you don't want to get up too early, and you can see the replay in full from 11:55. And a week today, broadcast live each week, this new UK take on Saturday Night Live brings the high wire, anything can happen energy of the original, reimagined through a British lens. Saturday Night Live UK starts next Saturday, 10 o'clock on Sky One. Lots to come from us here tonight, reflecting.
So Victor Gyökeres saying, look, that it's understandable. He felt the nerves. You could sense that inside the stadium. And Martin, you know what would have come Arsenal's way had they not got the job done tonight. But it probably is if they do go and get the ultimate prize, a night they'll look back on, won't they, and say that was pivotal in this race.
Do you know the thing about is the power that gives you now, the energy to win a game late like that, energises the crowd. You know, sometimes you look at it as well, the bigger picture in terms of Arteta's teams in the past, have they lacked a superstar? Well, there's one now in the making. This young kid, let me tell you, everyone been talking about him for a number of years, and he's just come in at the right time. It just gives everyone a lift. And then you look over your corner at Man City and you say, well, how are they feeling right now? That's 10 points, guys. It's a must-win game here tonight with still a lot of games and a lot of football to play.
Yeah, and he was involved, Shay, wasn't he, in the Victor Gyökeres goal?
Yeah, it was a huge moment, wasn't it? Because it looked for all, it was going to be a 0-0, you know, 2 points drop for Arsenal at the top of the league, the pressure. But he gets it here from a throw, and I think the Everton players have to do better, but take nothing away from the quality of the ball. It's a brilliant, you know, cross to the back post. They get a bit of luck with the deflection when it lands to Gyökeres in a sense, but I think the two Everton players have got to stop the cross. You're in the 89th minute, you know, you work so hard away from home. Pickford then as well, you probably look at, but you know, it's hard to look at a goal but not look at the positive.
It's a great ball though, isn't it? It's teasing the goalkeeper.
It's a brilliant ball, but he has to do better, the goalkeeper. He has to get that fist on, and he has to get it away from danger, Martin. They do get a bit of a break off the defender, but again, you know, give credit to Gyökeres as well, because he's had some things that are a bit of stick. Jacob Bryan had Gyökeres in his pocket. Gyökeres just sort of drifted into that area, and it looks an easy goal. But if Bryan doesn't switch off, Gyökeres doesn't get in that position, he doesn't score. But I think it's the pressure that was released when that goal went in, and
the young man,
the ball in was amazing. Yeah.
Presence of mind. You know, you're 16, you could be forgiven to being on the edge of it. Maybe that was just the perfect time to put him in, when it was like, okay, you go and do your stuff. Just be free in your mind and whip that ball in. I mean, and the goalkeeper's gone, do you know what, I can take that. And it's just gone away from him. There's more in it than he expects. And that's a top goalkeeper. Been magnificent this season. Earlier in the game, he's pulling off great saves. And then it just turns. It just turns on its head, and the whole Premier League then has a different look about it, and the whole night and the expectation for the rest of the season. And the next game now, Leverkusen, it's from game to game, competition to competition, and it keeps that momentum for Arsenal.
Yeah, and Gyökeres has had stick, hasn't he? But he's got 16 goals, 11 in the Premier League for Arsenal, and they are important goals, match-winning goals, albeit Dowman added the icing on the cake. And what icing it was, Stu, I mean, incredible. 16 years, 73 days. He will be doing his GCSE soon, won't he, and telling some stories to his friends at school.
It's brilliant to see young players flourishing and coming on. The managers trust him to put him on a game that's a high-pressure game for Arsenal. He's come on the pitch, and I'll tell you what, it would have been easy for him. He made that goal look very easy, but his composure to just drag it inside, goal the way, and slot it in the goal, as well as the cross, was absolutely brilliant by him, I've got to say. A lot of players would have panicked slightly here, potentially, you know, and all of a sudden maybe played the pass at the wrong time. His feet were brilliant, and credit to him. 16 years old and rolled it in the back of the net like that. Fantastic.
He heads it, doesn't he? I mean, you just look at the skill set here, okay? So he comes onto this quickly, assesses well, heads it down, and then it's like, it's outside of the right foot, there, and away from another defender, and then the wrist bit can just enjoy that.
The header, Martin, as well, the pace he puts on the header, it's not like a pass to himself. He passes it himself with his head into a space that he can sprint into, and then, as the lad says, the composure on the edge of the box to set the Everton defender down. down. He never looked like missing after that. Then it was a brilliant goal from him individually.
And when you look, that's the difference between the sides at the top of the division and the sides just below. The bigger squads, substitutes come on the pitch. Both substitutes for Arsenal have scored goals today and had an impact in winning the game for Arsenal.
Yeah, and look at this, there he is, Martin, at the top of the pile. 16 years, 73 days, well ahead of James Vaughan, who did it in an Everton shirt many years ago, April 2005. He was 16,270. But two of those goals we've seen this season, haven't we, with Rio and Gamoa on that list as well. But incredible.
That age, I mean, at 16, what were you doing then? I mean, I don't think I trained with the first team until I was 17. It was a big story within the club. This kid's now doing it actually in the games, and they've been waiting for him. You know, they've been waiting for him to arrive. What is he worth in terms of a new signing and all of those things, the money they spend, this great lift for the team? We need that right now. Just another player to join in this party to take them to the end.
Where do you think his ceiling is as a player? I know it's pretty unfair to even discuss that now, but I know at Arsenal they have high praise for it.
Well, we once had a Liam Brady come through the system, you know, was sold on for a lot of money to Juventus, and he's as good as him. But certainly at this level, at this age, he wasn't getting in quite this early. You're talking at really top level.
I think you have to be careful with youngsters as well. I've worked with youngsters with the 21s, and it's managing expectation. You know, there was a big article in one of the newspapers today about Lewis Skelly. Where's Lewis Skelly? What's happened to Lewis Skelly? We have to manage them and make sure that they get from here to 35 in the right and proper and have a full career.
But you can understand the excitement as well. When a player does that off the bench and the excitement he brings, I think straight away, Martin, you probably tell me very bit more games than me at Arsenal. The crowd get a lift as well. This Max Dowman, he gets the ball, he plays with no fear, he gets at people. You see the first goal, the second goal. We can get excited. I know Stuart's right as well, a bit older than me, a bit wiser maybe perhaps, but it's nice to be excited about such a talented player as well. And I don't think there's a ceiling on this player. There's no ceiling.
These are some of his best bits from today, and the maturity that he showed.
Do you know, look, give him his wings. You know, let him play. The manager's managed him brilliantly, to be honest, because he's shown a lot of good. I was shouting in the game, get him central, get him central. Now look, the mantra from Wenger was these players play wide, they learn the game, and then they come central. This guy, look here, no one can get the ball off him. And to be fair, the cross, his best work comes from the outside, and it's on that left foot of his where it's a teasing cross. Look how he's affecting the game. His pass move, he's looking great effort from distance, but it encourages other people to take shots, and it's that extra body in those central areas. But this is the ball here. Fantastic ball.
The other thing you mentioned, Martin, as well, is when you're that young, you don't think about the pressures at the top of the Premier League. He's just a kid that's playing in the first team, and he doesn't really think about, can we go 10 points here? He's just enjoying his football. He's just out there, sitting Everton players down numerous occasions. He's so gifted.
Let me just tell you this. There'll be two dressing rooms here at the Emirates now. One lauding a young player, Dowman, for what he's done and the contribution he's given. And in the Everton dressing room,
Max, I'll come to you first.
I would fully expect the coaching staff to be pointing out to Armstrong, who's also a very young player. You can't switch off when we put you on the pitch and we trust you to come on the pitch. When you look at that first goal, he stood outside the 6-yard box, and it's his man that's ended up coming off his knees, going across the face of goal to Gyökeres. That's the two tales of two young players today in this game. One's going to be lauded, the other one's learnt a valuable lesson.
Does Everton's away form just offer a little bit of a warning here for Arsenal?
It does, and defensively, you know, they've been absolutely brilliant. We know they're missing players tonight, but they've got some quality in there. This man, Iliman Ndiaye, for me, is a very, very good attacker, someone who can make something out of nothing. They can score goals, very good on set pieces as well, so they're the complete package. They're getting results. The last couple of results have been very good for them. You can see the last 5 away results here, so we know what they can do, what they can bring to the table, and I'm sure they'll fancy themselves tonight. They're not a pushover. It's going to be a very difficult game for us.
1-0 and it's Minter. The ball comes in as a corner, then all of a sudden the player goes down his 6-yard box, he's holding his shoulder, they play on, the ball goes to Minter down the right, goes round his defender, he loses his
Michael
feet.
Carrick faces the media ahead of a huge Premier League clash as Manchester United prepare to take on Aston Villa at Old Trafford.
and
In
he
this pre-match
misgets it
press
completely.
conference,
I don't know
Carrick
if this is
speaks
gonna be
confidently
offside,
about
Mike,
the
is it?
strength of his
think so, he's gone
squad,
straight
making
in.
it clear
I'm
that he
just thinking
believes
of
he
Van
has the
Head getting
manpower
out of the
needed
way.
to compete at the
He's
highest
right in
level.
his way, watch.
With
He
several
goes across,
players
he goes
returning
round
to
him,
fitness and the
then he
team
goes-
building
he
strong
hits
momentum
it.
in recent matches,
Oh, yeah, it's
the
off. It's
United
gonna be
boss
offside.
discusses
Offside
how the
behind the
squad
ball.
is preparing
Really,
for a
yeah?
tough
From the
challenge
angle I've
against
seen,
a
yeah.
very
Right,
competitive
VAR, it's
Aston
bad
Villa
goalkeeping.
side.
Goalkeeper's had a
Carrick
bit of a
also
nightmare there.
reflects
Gone
on the
inside
current
the
form
post
of key
and
players
missed kick
such as
inside
Bruno
the way. He can't
Fernandes,
believe it.
Benjamin Sesko,
He's got
and
his head
Kobbie
in his
Mainoo,
hands. He
while
can't believe
praising
it.
the team's
Looks like
unity and
they're gonna give it
determination.
1-0 to Brighton
The
against
manager
the run of play.
explains how